Okay, so this video is going to be about the 5 signs of autism in babies. So let's dive in and get started. Hi, I'm Danny. This is the Ask Me Mama, and welcome to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. This channel will be vlogs about raising children on the autism spectrum and our journey and some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. Hope you enjoy. Let's get started. With my eldest, I remember he was probably 2 to 3 months old. And, by that point, you're kind of like recovered from having the baby, and, you more or less have established a bond. And I had a lot of experience like nannying and babysitting. So I had a lot of experience around children. And I remember just feeling like I just wasn't connecting with him. I wasn't sure why. I didn't know if it was me. I didn't know if it was him. But I just remember this clear feeling of like something's not going. I feel like I should be more attached. He should be, I don't know. It just didn't feel right. Like my first thing. And looking back now, I feel like that was maybe a little sign that maybe he wasn't connecting with me, or I wasn't able to connect with him in the way that he needed, but there just was a lack of connection. The next thing is that he was late to smile and really hard to make laugh. He didn't smile on time, and when we would try to make him laugh, you would little games with him and go like, oh, goosey hoo, and like try to tickle him and do different things, but like it would be like, and then you would just keep going trying to get him to laugh, and eventually you might get it. So it was like a lot of work to even get a response out of him, to even get a little bit of a response. And that stood out to me a lot because, I babysat a lot of kids, and, you play with them and you see them laugh, and usually it's pretty easy to make them giggle or smile. And with him, it was like you had to like really like pull it out of him. And even then, like I wouldn't even get a full on like giggle. So then the next thing that we noticed as he got a little bit older was he didn't coo or babble. I really don't remember him doing it at all. I mean, maybe he did it like a little bit, but like really not at all. He just pretty much played and crawled or sat, but he didn't really make any verbal communication. The next thing that I noticed with him was that he really was just in his own world. He would sit in the floor and play, and you could just see like the wheels turning in his head, because you could see him sitting there and playing and like thinking about something because of what he was playing with or what he was looking at, and then you would see him do something, and you could see he was just kind of like planning out, but he was very much in his own world, just doing his own thing, not aware of anything going on around him. So that's pretty much the main symptoms that we noticed with our first. And then with our second, who was born a year later, we noticed a few things. We didn't notice as many things. They're a little bit different. I would even say that some of the things we noticed with him probably would be classified as AD, ADHD stuff. But these are the things that stood out with him as a baby, even though he does have an autism diagnosis. So the first thing with him was he didn't like being held or restrained. Like I remember him being a few weeks old and like trying to nurse him, and it was very difficult because he was just, constantly moving and fidgeting, and like he just really he just wasn't comfortable being held a lot. Also, like if we had to put him in the car seat or anything that had like a seat belt or some sort of like restraint in it, he really didn't like it. Like swaddling, any of that stuff, he'd get really upset and just cry and cry and cry. He really didn't like it. So that stood out a lot. He was very like, he moved a lot from the beginning, and I think because of that is why with number 2, he hit a lot of his milestones early, on time or early. He actually started crawling quite early. He started crawling at 4 to 5 months old, like the end of the 4th month, beginning of the 5th month, which is very early. And he was rolling over from like a few days old, at least one way. and he was like cruising and stuff and walking by the time he was a year old, like, which that was like closer to timeline, but like a little bit early. He just developed like with gross motor very quickly. Nothing seemed to stop him. He would just go, 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 and there was like no thought about it. He would just kind of would do. Are the things that we really noticed in our kids in the first year. And as I say with anyone, the most important thing is that, if you feel there's any concerns with your child or you're not sure, to make sure to go to your pediatrician and talk about it with them. And if you feel like you're not being heard, maybe consider going to someone else or getting a second opinion. It's also very important to have a pediatrician that you trust and you can trust the recommendations, because if you do get an autism diagnosis, you're going to be going to the doctor a lot for different therapies, needing different forms, needing different papers, and it's really important to have a good relationship with the medical professionals that are helping you. So if you don't like something, in that relationship, then I would definitely suggest trying to find someone else that can work with you and help you. And again, I'm not a professional. This is just my opinions. These are our observations of like things that we've noticed with our kids. And I would love to hear if any of you guys experienced these things or different things. So just be sure to leave any comments or suggestions in the comments. I'm happy to make more videos about this. So, if there's something you'd like more information about, just leave a comment and I'll try to get back to you, or maybe I can make a video about it depending on what it is. So just be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be putting out hopefully a lot more content like this for you guys, for people that just want to learn about autism or if you're starting your own journey. So I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye.